Numbers 31, the Midianite War. God spoke to Moses, "Avenge the people of Israel on the Midianites. Afterwards, you will go to be with your dead ancestors." Moses addresses the people. Recruit men for a campaign against Midian to exact God's revenge on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe of Israel go to war. A fighting force of 1,000 from each tribe of Israel, 12,000 in all, was recruited. Moses sent them off to war. 1,000 from each tribe, and also Phinehas, son of Eleazar, who went as priest to the army in charge of holy vessels and signaling bugles. They attacked Midian just as God had commanded Moses, and killed every last man. Among the fallen were Reba, Rekem, and Zur, son of Beor, with the sword. The people of Israelites took the Midianite women and children captive, and took all their animals and herds and goods as plunder. They burned to the ground all the towns in which Midianites lived, and also their camps. They looted and plundered everything and everyone, belongings, and people and animals. They took it all, captives and spoils and plunder. Back to Moses and Eleazar, the priest, and the company of Israel, where they were camped on the Plains of Moab at Jordan-Jericho. Moses, Eleazar, and all the leaders of the congregation went to meet the returning army outside the camp. Moses was furious with the army officers, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, as they came back from the battlefield. "What's this? You've let these women live? They're the ones who, under Balaam's direction, seduced the people of Israel away from God in that mess at Beor, causing the plague that hit God's people. Finish your job. Kill the boys. Kill every woman who has slept with a man. The younger women who are virgins, you can keep alive for yourselves. Now, here's what you are to do. Pitch tents outside the camp. All who have killed everyone or touched the corpse must stay outside the camp for 7 days. Purify yourself and your captives on the 3rd and 7th day. Purify every piece of clothing and every utensil, everything made of leather, goat hair, or wool, or wood. Eleazar, the priest, then spoke to the soldiers who had fought in the battle. This is the ruling from the revelation that God gave Moses. Gold, silver, bronze, iron, tin, and lead, and everything else that can survive fire must be passed through the fire. Then it will be ritually purified. It must go through and be ritually washed in the water of cleaning. Further, whatever cannot survive fire must be put through the water. On the 7th day, scrub your clothes. You will be ritually clean. Then can return to camp. God said to Moses, I want you and Eleazar, the priest, and the family leaders in the community to count the captive people and animals and split the plunder between the soldiers who fought the battle and the rest of the congregation. Then tax the spoils that go to the soldiers at the rate of 1 life out of 500, rather human cattle, donkey, or sheep. It's a God tax taken from their shelf, half shared, to be turned over to Eleazar, the priest, on behalf of God. Tax the congregation's half share at the rate of 1 life of the 50s, rather persons, cattle, donkey, sheep, goat, or any other animal. Give this to the Levites, who are in charge of the care of God's dwelling. Moses and Eleazar followed through with what God had commanded Moses. The rest of the plunder taken by the army, 75,000 sheep, 72 cattle, 61,000 donkey, 32,000 women who were virgins, the half share for those who fought in the war, 337,500 sheep, with a tax of $675 for God, 36,000 cattle with a tax of 72 for God, 30,500 donkeys with a tax of 61 for God, 16,000 people with a tax of 32 for God. Moses turned the tax over to Eleazar the priest as God's part, following God's instructions to Moses. The other half share for the Israelite community that Moses set apart from what was given to the men who fought in the war was 37,500 sheep, 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, 16,000 people. From the half share going to the people of Israel, just as God has instructed him, picked up one out of every 50 persons and animals and give them to the Levites who were in charge of maintaining God's dwelling. The military officers, commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, came to Moses and said, "We have counted the soldiers under our command, and not a man is missing. We thought offerings to God from gold jewelry. We got armlets, bracelets, rings, earrings, ornaments to make atonement for our lives before God." Moses and Eleazar, the priest, received the gold from them, all fine crafted jewelry. In total, the gold from the commanders of thousands and hundreds that Moses and Eleazar offered as a gift to God weighed about 600 pounds. All donations by the soldiers who had taken the spoils. Moses and Eleazar took the gold from the commanders of thousands and hundreds and brought it to the tent of meeting. It served as a reminder for the people of Israel before God. Thank you for listening to this chapter. God bless.